Yo, what is up YouTube? It is James here, and today is going to be the first video of the brand new year. We're going to be tackling on the first grand challenge of the Regulation F series, and we're going to be trying out an interesting Sun team that was able to get top 4 in a pretty big online Victory Road tournament, although there were a few slight modifications so it can fit the best of 1 format even stronger. We have a really strong Sun team, which was really interesting. It features Heatrock Torkoal, which is pretty big because the goal of this team is to really just set up the Sun and have those Sun turns to be able to boost the Protosynthesis on the Paradox Pokemon so it can get the best stats and just dish out a ton of damage this way for the offensive sweepers. And this support of Torkoal, we've seen support of Torkoal before with a Jetpack, and it does allow you to get a free switch, but the Heat Rock for the extra turn of Sun could be a really important situation because sometimes maybe there's like one more turn of Sun that you need in order to finish off the game, but because it wore off, then you actually lose the game because of it. So having that Heat Rock, being able to extend the Sun terms, can actually be pretty big, especially if they're trying to stall out the Sun with multiple positions with switching and protecting. So having the Heat Rock can actually really mess up the ability to stall out the Sun turns, especially if they don't have weather control. We have a Terra Grass Torkoal, which is pretty interesting as a supportive one, and this one's running Helping Hand and Yawn. Helping Hand is really big because it allows the Pokemon to really get the KOs on this team, which is pretty important because that's what you want on the Sun team, as well as the Yawn support. In case you really need to have some disruption and maybe force a switch so you can actually be more proactive with your stronger attackers against the other slot, can be a really nice thing to have here. And we have Torkoal and Lilligant, an infamous duo, really known for really strong attacks from the Torkoal, alongside the Focus Sash Hisui and Lilligant that's faster, with Sleep Powder that's super disruptive, and then usually it's after you on the Lilligant, but this one's actually running Upper Hand instead. And the reason for Upper Hand is because of the fact that since we're running a supporter Torkoal on this team, the After You combination is a lot weaker on this team than you would think, so going for the Upper Hand, being able to stop the priority moves that are really effective against these pretty frail-natured Pokemon can be a really big factor. And then this Hisui and Lilligant's really offensive. Originally on the team, it was actually Stellar Terra on the Hisui and Lilligant, but we are running the Ghost Terra because in the Grand Challenge, of course, if they do know the team, they might play, oh, it's Stellar Terra, I can just fake out the Lilligant, and then I go for the Ghost Terra, and it's like, oh, that's not going to be a thing I can do. And I think it's actually better into stuff like Dragonite, Extreme Speed, Entei as well, that could be a bit annoying. So I think having the Terra Ghost here might be a bit more helpful here, and you already have the Helping Hand power of the Torkoal. Then you also have powerful attacks like Solar Blade in close combat, and I think with Helping Hand Torkoal, it's pretty brilliant because you're able to outspeed a lot of Pokemon like Speed Booster Flutter Mains on opposing sides, Iron Bundles as well, and then dish out a Helping Hand Solar Blade or close combat can really just allow for some really strong knockouts. Then with the rest of the team, you have the Paradox Pokemon and a Landorus Incarnate. And originally on the team, it was actually Covert Cloak Walking Wake, as well as Life Orb Landorus Incarnate. But I decided, again, this is the Grand Challenge. It's best of 1, it's close team sheet. So I thought, you know what, maybe switch around the items, because if they play it like the original team, then I could take advantage of it and it would be pretty big here. So we're running Life Orb Walking Wake. It allows it to get a big boost in power because I think Walking Wake is just naturally not the strongest Pokemon out there. So having that Life Orb and the Sun Protosynthesis to give it a special attack booster, I thought was pretty nice. I also adjusted the original spread on the team so it can actually have a bit more offensive power as well as some speed, and this allows it to still get the special attack Protosynthesis, be faster than the original Walking Wake, and dish out a ton of damage this way. So it hits really hard with the Draco Meteor, Hydro Steam, and the Terrifier Flamethrower, especially in the Sun, so it can actually do some pretty impressive damage. We also have the Choice Specs Flutter Mane. I decided to go with Max Speed Flutter Mane in order to just be able to outspeed pretty much any Flutter Mane that I might encounter in the Grand Challenge. Having Max Speed Booster Speed Flutter Mane is pretty effective, especially with the Helping Hand support from the Torkoal, can really allow it to blow up some Pokemon. The investment on the defense and HP is just to live a Adamant Sucker Punch from the Chien pals out there. And yeah, Choice Specs Flutter Mane with Helping Hand and Terra Fairy can really just blow things up, especially. Then we also have the Assault Vest Raging Bolt. It's just able to do a ton of damage, be a pretty bulky Pokemon overall, helps out in the rain matchup, which I think is pretty important, especially Tornadus and Urshifu with Rain Dance can be a little bit annoying for this team. So having Raging Bolt to be able to take advantage of the Sun and really hit those bulky waters, as well as, again, the flying and water types that can be annoying for the team. And then last one, we have the Landorus Incarnate, and the reason we have Landorus Incarnate with the Choice Scarf on this team is because I thought, okay, the team is generally, it has some fast Pokemon, right? It's Hisui and Lilligant, Walking Wake, and Flutter Mane. But you do need to Sun Up in order to allow Lilligant to be fast, and then Flutter Mane also wants to be fast, so I felt like there were some cases where, okay, maybe you're going to be in the end game slower than like some Choice Scarf Mons, Chien Pao, and more. And I was trying to figure out, okay, how do you solve this problem? And I thought, you know what, Choice Scarf Lander seems like really good end game cleaner, because the fact that you could just go for like, if there's like a Chien Pao out there, and Chien Pao is a pretty annoying Pokemon for this team in my opinion, because again, you don't have the best switches and ice moves actually do hurt this team a lot. And I thought, okay, if I do that, they don't normally go for the priority moves into Landers. They usually just go for like an ice type move like Icicle Crash or Ice Spinner. The Choice Scarf will allow me to outspeed Pokemon like Chien Pao and then dish out a good amount of damage, because the sheer force is pretty big. Helping Hand plus the Sancier Storm and Earth Power can also be a big factor. So I thought, you know, I'll give it a try. I felt like it made sense on this team, and it would be pretty fitting in a Grand Challenge setting and having extra speed. So again, the idea of the team is to try to take fast, big knockouts with these powerful, fast Pokemon like the Fluttermane, the Walking Wake, and the Landers Incarnate on this team. So I thought having the Choice Scarf to help out with the speed investment would actually be really nice here. And then Sleep Talk is just in case, so I actually have a switch in to the Amoonguss, so if they do go for the Spore, I can at least get some attack off with the Landers Incarnate, which could actually be really helpful there. So that is a quick breakdown of the team. Overall, it has some pretty strong leads. You can lead the Paradox Pokemon with Torkoal. You could, of course, have Torkoal in the back to switch in for the Protosynthesis. And Lilligant's a pretty strong lead, because you can go for a Lilligant switch to Torkoal, or you could just lead Lilligant and then switch out the Lilligant into like one of the Torkoal as well for the Paradox Pokemon to get the Protosynthesis. You always have that Mind Game available. And otherwise, you still have like pretty strong offensive leads you can go for, right? Like Fluttermane with Choice Specs plus the Choice Scarf Landers is also a pretty good one. Raging Bolt, pretty tanky, able to survive one hit usually, can usually like get some good chip damage so the rest of the Pokemon can finish the job. And it's really powerful of a team overall, because again, the idea is to set up the sun and dish out a ton of damage and clean them up using these really powerful attackers. If you'd like to check out the details of this recreation as well as the original creator, I will link them down below. But otherwise, let's get started and play the Grand Challenge. And this is also going to be the first video that I am recording on a brand new PC, and I basically have new equipment, the entire board. The only thing that's the same is the camera, so if there are any issues, hopefully it's not really too bad, but if there are anything that is a bit lacking, that's probably why, compared to my old setup where that I'm very comfortable with recording. But we are going to be playing a few games of the Grand Challenge and trying out this really offensive Sun team, because I thought it was a really unique team and had a lot of cool tricks. I did, of course, adjust the team, but we'll see how it goes. We have our first opponent, who's actually pretty high up in the ratings. We have Chien Pao, Urshifu, Ogerpon, Heartflame, Rillaboom, Fluttermane, and the Raging Bolt. So a pretty classic version of Japan Balance. No Incineroar though. So how do I want to exactly play against this team is a good question. I do have Lilligant Torkoal that could just lead right off the bat, and I do have Ghost Terra on the Lilligant. And normally it did actually have a... It was actually originally Stellar Terra, but I changed it to Ghost for this GC, and it's actually pretty strong here offensively. Like, I have a lot of good Pokemon in this matchup. Walking Wake is pretty good offensively. Lando's pretty good. Raging Bolt's pretty good. Fluttermane's pretty good. Like, I have a bunch of good strong offensive mons. I think I like the Torkoal and the Lilligant. I'm kind of less keen towards the Fluttermane, mainly because I think Fluttermane gets vulnerable to the Grassy Glides, which I think I'm super scared about with this team. I think Walking Wake plus the Lando is actually pretty strong, because I like having Pokemon that's faster than Chien Pao. And I think Raging Bolt is not too bad in this matchup. I'm not exactly 100% sure what my opponent's going to exactly bring. I think Chien Pao plus Ogerpon, Heartflame, and Rillaboom are really strong, because most of these teams tend to run the Grassy Glide. So if they run Grassy Glide to bypass priority, this Fluttermane's not exactly incredibly bulky, so I'm kind of scared of going down to Grassy Glide immediately. We're going to see Fluttermane lead with Urshifu, and that's a pretty good lead for me, because I do have the Torkoal plus the Lilligant mode that I could just lead off right off the bat. And as long as this isn't like some Sleep or Terra Grass Fluttermane, I should be able to knock it out with the combination of Helping Hand Solar Blade. A lot of the Fluttermanes have been running really bulky variants, so I kind of like the idea of going for the Helping Hand Solar Blade and see if I can take a knockout here. So I am going to do that. The Urshifu can go for close combat, it can go for certain strikes, but it's not really super threatening on this board in the sun, right? So I think right here I just go straight for the damage into the Fluttermane, because that is a Pokemon that's pretty annoying, especially because it's probably the fastest Pokemon on their team to deal with my Scarf Lando. So let's see if it's Sash Fluttermane, because that's going to be a big deal, but I am faster than any kind of Flutter Mane otherwise, and we see a Protect from the Urshifu, so this is perfect. So I am able to get a Solar Blade off into the Flutter Mane, and even if it was Bold Flutter Mane, this Solar Blade is guaranteed to KO, unless it's Focus Sash. It's a really powerful attack. Yep, goodbye Flutter Mane. Incredible turn 1. Like, that's the best turn 1 I could have asked for. Like, I even keep my Focus Sash on Lilligant intact as well as the Urshifu. And a lot of this team is going to come down to like a lot of turn 1 reads because, or like lead reads as well as like turn 1, because it's very read heavy, because it's very offensive. I don't have Protect, so I can't really maneuver the board. We're going to see the Rillaboom come in, and this is completely fine because now I have a pretty safe, I have like a lot of things I can do here, but I think I'm just going to fire off a Heat Wave, and I'm just going to go for my Terra Ghost and go for a Solar Blade. I could also upper hand the Rillaboom as well, but I don't think that's necessary at the moment. So I think I'm just going to go for the Solar Blade into the Urshifu, and as well as go for the Heat Wave. I don't know where the Fake Out's going out into, I suppose. I think this is probably play is Terra Fire Rillaboom most likely, and fake out the Lilligant, and then go for Close Combat and the Lilligant as well. That's what I'm expecting here from my opponent, because that would cover for like an attack from Torkoal while you try to remove the Lilligant, which is like the biggest threat to Urshifu, right? And I think that would be the play that makes the most sense to me. So let's see if that is going to be the case. And yeah, the original team was Stellar Terra, and I do have Terra Ghost here instead. So let's see if this actually pays off. I guess I could have went for Eruption as a hard read as well, and I probably should have in case it's Focus Sash Urshifu, because I would like the damage, but we'll see if that's going to be the case here. We actually see Fake Out on Torkoal, which is completely fine as well. Okay. As we do get a Solar Blade off into the Urshifu, and I'm kind of surprised he left the Urshifu open. This might be Sash, which is fine, I suppose. Yeah, it's Sash. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. But right now, I'm just in such a commanding spot, right? They go for Close Combat. It's into the Lilligant. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I'm in such a great spot now. I can just go for an Eruption pretty safely, I'm pretty sure, with the Torkoal, and I could go for a Close Combat into the Rillaboom. I could go for like a really aggressive read and Sleep Powder the Rillaboom as well, which I guess isn't like a terrible play either. I don't know if it's a needed play though. I guess I could just attempt to Sleep Powder the Rillaboom. I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, because they have to Terra, right? They have to Terra Fire here most likely. Yeah, I think this is Terra Fire and Protect. So I had a feeling, like a lot of Sun is, I think, capitalizing on defensive plays from your opponent, especially if they're running balance, and you really have to try and punish it. Yep, exactly. So they do go for Detect, and assuming I had Sleep Powder, I'm in a great spot, but even if I miss, like, it's still not even terrible, right? Like, that was probably my best play. Sure, I could have went for Close Combat, but does it really change much? I don't think Close Combat or Eruption would have taken the knockout. Granted, I guess Grassy Glide could have been a thing, but yeah, I just don't think this is like that big of a deal that makes it super necessary to change it here. As we do go for the Eruption here into the Rillaboom slot. Kind of curious on if they go for Grassy Glide first or they go for Aqua Jet, and depending on the Rillaboom set, but I still think my best play is just to go for, I think Eruption should still knock out the Urshifu, even if they Surging Strike. So I'm going to just go for Eruption. I'm going to go for Upper Hand. Like, I think Scarf Lando's looking really good to clean up the end game. Granted, I guess if both of these Pokemon are around, then it's up to priority stuff. But they probably have to double up the Torkoal to prevent Urshifu from getting knocked out here. I'm a little bit worried, I guess, if it's Powback. Powback could be a little bit scary, but at least, like, this is where Scarf Lando comes into play, because Scarf Lando actually outspeeds the Pow and can like really threaten it no matter what. So I'm feeling pretty good about the spot. I think maybe I could have Close Combat and maybe Sleep Powder was a bit greedy, but I thought like, okay, if they Terra Fire, then I put them into Earth Power range, right? And yeah, they did go for Grassy Glide. So I do stop it, and I really don't see the upper hand animation that much, so it's actually kind of a treat as they do go for Surging Strikes. And as you can see, Torkoal just eats that up so well in the sun. Yeah, it's not even a two-shot in the sun. And now Eruption will KO the Urshifu, and we get good damage into the Rillaboom as well, to just put in range of any attack here. So as you can see, really good damage. And I'm pretty sure that I just always, I could upper hand the next turn. I'm pretty sure last mon should be Pow at this point. Or maybe it's Ogerpon Heartflame. If it's Ogerpon Heartflame, that's fine too. I don't mind if it's Ogerpon Heartflame. It is Pow though, okay. So I'm a little bit surprised Ogerpon got left out of this, but maybe it's not the Glide variant. Maybe it's I don't know what he would run though if you're not the Glide variant. Maybe it's just standard like Wood Hammer Power Whip, but that works out even better for me. I just go for an Eruption here always, and I guess this could be like what, high horsepower on the Rillaboom. So I guess that's something I do have to keep in mind. So I could, well, here's the thing. I think I always close combat regardless to Rillaboom anyway. Yeah, I think I do. Well, actually, we do know the power is in Sash. So we can go for Heat Wave and close combat, I think, into the Rilla. Let's see if they go for priority move. They go for Sucker Punch into Torkoal. Okay. But that means they guarantee lose a Mon here, assuming I hit a Heat Wave. Okay, nice. I do get to close combat into the Rillaboom. They didn't go for Grassy Glide because of the upper hand. And I was like, okay, the only way they can knock out Torkoal in this position should be like either they have to double up the slot, which means I get a close combat into Rillaboom, or they spread their attacks. But they spread their attacks, then no matter what happens, right? If they spread my attacks, that means that Torkoal always survives because they either need a critical hit or they need to double it up specifically. And then assuming I hit a Heat Wave, I should get one KO and then ensure the game with my back Pokemon. And I still think that Lando and Walking Wake were really good in the end game to clean up as long as both of them weren't around. I guess if I had missed attacks, it could have got like a bit dicey. But with Scarf Lando, I felt like it was really good because Helping Hand Earth Power could like knock out the Qianbao, for instance, which would have been big. And they might have been inclined to be like, oh, I have a safe Icicle Crash and Wood Hammer there potentially because they might not have anticipated Scarf. So I felt like I did have a pretty good end game regardless. But yeah, it ends up being a really nice start to the combination there as yeah. I mean, that's the power of Sun. It just, if you have the offensive pressure, it's just really, really strong. And if you're able to capitalize, especially if we hit the Sleep Powder, the game is just over, I think, from the beginning. But I guess if I close combat too, like the close combat damage would have been nice, but you know what? I didn't take it. So, oh my goodness, it's this team. This is like a very infamous GC team with like Roaring Moon, Glamora, Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Ninetales, and the Articuno. Actually, I played this in my one test game before starting this recording because I was testing my settings because it's a brand new PC, and I did lose to this team. So, I don't want to go here. Because Roaring Moon plus Glamora is a little bit strange to deal with. Granted, I guess it's fine. I don't think Moonblast one-shots the... I think I always lead Torkoal. I think I always lead Torkoal. I'm pretty sure Fluttermane should live in Acrobatic. The thing is, I don't know if I live in Acrobatics from the Roaring Moon. But I think it's probably worth the gamble. I kind of like Fluttermane lead because it just puts on a lot of offensive pressure. Wake is pretty good in the back, I think, in Lilligant. Because if they Terra the Roaring Moon and they bring Dondozo, then that means that Dondozo can't a Terra against my Lilligant, which means Solar Blade does a lot of damage. I don't know if they actually bring the Snow Mode or if they bring the Dondozo. Usually, like, I always assume it's going to be Glamora and the Roaring Moon. I just don't know what's in the back usually. So we're going to see the Glamora plus the Roaring Moon, and I think this is a completely fine lead. Because right now I do have the Sun up, which means the Roaring Moon doesn't have to boost their energy consumed, which is a pretty big deal. And if they brought the Snow Mode in the back, I don't think it's the worst to lose Torkoal in this position, because Wake and Fluttermane could still win against the Snow Mode. But yeah, I think the play here is just to go for a Helping Hand with Fluttermane and throw off a Moonblast into one of these slots. I could go for the Shadow Ball into Glamora. I don't know if that would pick up the knockout though. It is Specs. That could be a play. I could also go for a Moonblast into the... Actually, I feel like info-wise, I probably want to get rid of Glamora anyway. And because the Glamora is less likely to protect, it's either going to switch out, I think. I think it switches out or it stays in. I could see Roaring Moon protect. That's a viable play here. But yeah, we're going to see a Terra come out from my opponent. It's going to be the Roaring Moon. So I wonder if I could have gotten the Helping Hand Moonblast knockout or if I needed a Terra Fairy Moonblast, because I'm not super familiar with that calc. So I feel like it would have been super close if I didn't Terra Fairy, so I think I would have had to commit to Terra Fairy, but granted, if I get rid of Glimmer, as all they do is Tailwind, that's not like too bad of a position for me. We're gonna get a Shadow Ball off into the Glim, and it does one-shot the Glim, so that's a pretty big one, because Glim was actually pretty scary to switch into. So that's a really nice knockout regardless. As they do go for Tailwind, but I get to find out that they have the Snow Mode, which granted, the Snow Mode's not in a great position to switch into here, because they don't have a great way of eliminating the Torkoal. So let's see. Ninetales. Okay, perfect. So it's the Snow Mode in the back. It's not Dondozo, which means Lilligant became a lot less useful. That's for sure. So the question is, do I want to switch out or not? This could be Blizzard Acrobatics. This could be Knockoff, which all are fine. I think my plan's probably to Terra Fire to Awaken this game. I don't know if I want to throw off the Heat Wave or if I want to throw off a Yawn. Or I could switch out. I think switching out is probably the best. Like going to Lilligant and throwing off a Shadow Ball is fine. Into the Moon. This is where I kind of wish I had something better in the back that's able to switch in, but granted Landis wasn't able to switch in, and I guess Raging Bolt wouldn't have been able to switch in either, so I guess I like always never had a good ice switch in. They target Torkoal slot, which is really interesting actually. Is it disable Ninetales? Or did they think the Fluttermane was switching out? They go for a Aurora Veil and a knockoff, so this is actually really, really good for me. Because now I get a free Shadow Ball off into the Roaring Moon, and sure they have a Aurora Veil, but I don't know if that's going to save them in the long term, the thing. Okay. So I do have a safe Torkoal switch that I could go for. Yeah, I like the Torkoal switch and just going for a Shadow Ball into... Do I want to target the Moon or do I want to target down the... I guess like I should target the Ninetales slot. Actually, no, I want the damage in the Moon because it puts it in the range of any attack that I have here. I could Terra Fairy to avoid the knockoff, but realistically, they should Acrobatics here. Like, Acrobatics, I think, is stronger regardless. So I'm going to bring out Torkoal, get the Sun back up. Now we have 8 turns of Sun, and the Ninetales would have to switch out. Also, the Ninetales isn't max speed for some reason. The Fluttermane would potentially outspeed, but yeah, I don't think it's likely. They went for knockoff. I'm surprised it's not Acro here. And if they're going for Blizzard, it's like a chance to hit. But they do hit both. Okay. So Fluttermane goes down. Granted, I don't think that's that big of a deal. Because now we just go out into Walking Wake. And right now, unless it's Tatsugiri back, I'm feeling pretty good about this spot. I feel like maybe I should put on the offensive pressure and just try to get rid of the Roaring Moon off the bat since I have the special attack booster. Because they could switch out Ninetales this turn. And I don't think I want Ninetales in that position. So I think I'm just going to go for Heat Wave. And I think we just go for a Terra Fire Hydro Steam into the... Or do I Terra Fire Flamethrower? Flamethrower is technically stronger, right? Yeah, I think Flamethrower is stronger. And we should target the Moon, because the Moon's the bigger threat. They stay in with the Ninetales, which is shocking to me. So I might get a double knockout here, and if it's a double knockout, what's their last Pokemon? I'm assuming it's either Articuno or maybe it's Tatsugiri, but if it's Tatsugiri, that should be fine. I guess if it's Scarf, that could be a concern, but I do have enough tools to deal with it. They go for knockoff, which is fine. They can't knock me out. Maybe a Blizzard or Moonblast here. They can't freeze me, thankfully, either. They do go for the Moonblast. The Terra Fire is a really good defensive play against Ninetales, and I'm able to get a Flamethrower off. And as long as I hit the Heat Waves, I'm in really good shape. Or I crit. Like, the crit only matters if I have to dodge a Heat Wave, because a Heat Wave should knock out Ninetales anyway in the Sun. So as long as we were hitting the Heat Waves, I don't think it mattered at all. Heat Wave. Nice. Oh, actually, I didn't realize the Ninetales was full. But granted, like, Ninetales took more damage, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. This is going to be the Articuno back. Yeah, it's Articuno back, and I think we're in really good shape. Of course, there are still things that could go wrong, absolutely, but right now, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I think we just go for Heat Waves, and we go for Flamethrowers. I think I target down the Ninetales. Who do I target down? I don't know what technically... I think it's just Flamethrower to Articuno. Yeah, it's Flamethrower to Articuno. I'm faster than Ninetales. Okay, so that does confirm that Ninetales is not max speed. That's a huge amount of damage to Articuno as well. They went for the Blizzard, but it wouldn't have KO'd either Pokemon. Like, it wouldn't have KO'd Walking Wake regardless. They go for the Sheer Cold attempt, but even if they hit the Sheer Cold attempt, the game was over regardless, because I did have Torkoal that's just going to hit the Heat Wave, yeah. And I'm surprised they didn't go for Sheer Cold and a Torkoal out of anything, because I felt like they had to go for a Sheer Cold and a Torkoal if they were going to go for Sheer Cold. But granted, we do take the win there. Okay, nice. So Snow Mode is interesting. I really thought it'd be Dundozo, but that works out really, really well for me. Perfect. Don't have to worry about the Dundozo there. Granted, I did have the Lilligant in the back that was still good. Overall, I do think that Walking Wake a little bit annoying, but like the KO on the Glamora was still a really nice KO. I could have denied Tailwind though. Helping Hand Moonblast would have still been pretty good. So I guess like it depends, because I'm kind of curious on how well I could play that matchup again if I play against it. Because I'm just questioning, hey, is Helping Hand Moonblast a better play into the Roaring Moon? I think it's only a better play if I get the knockout on the Roaring Moon. Because if I don't get the knockout on the Roaring Moon, it gets a bit sketchy, I think. So overall, I think, again, with this team, you got to get like really good offense here. And it did pay off. Like a play I saw that they had if they had the Snow Mode was switch out Glamora into Ninetales to get the Sun away and then boost energy activate so Acrobatic does more power. But what the heck is this? Bronzong, Clodsire, Grimmsnarl, Amoonguss with Ogerpon Cornerstone and the Galarian Moltres. What am I looking at here? Do we think it's Water Absorb or do we think it's something else? I think I just want to lead Flutter Mane Torkoal. Just try to brute force this as much as possible. Do I want Lando? I don't think Lando's... I mean, Lando's decent. I do have Sleep Talk on the Lando as well. Bolt is pretty bulky in this matchup, but I don't think it's necessary. I think I bring Lando Walking Wake. Because I want the pure power of just damage output, I think. And I bring Walking Wake because I want another way to hit the Amoonguss. And I guess I always bring Lando to punish the Clodsire. I'm kind of curious on what the Bronzong Terra is. It could be dark. It could be fire. If it's fire, then Hydro seems really good into it, which is also another reason why I like Walking Wake. But if it's water, that's a bit annoying. Clodsire plus the Grimmsnarl. Okay. Versus Torkoal and Flutter Mane. So this is probably a light screen, if anything, and whatever Clodsire wants to do. I think this play is just to go for a Heat Wave immediately and just go for a Moonblast. Because I don't want... Actually, it doesn't matter if they get both screens up. I guess it's annoying if they T-Wave, though. I think I just go for the damage immediately. Just Moonblast and Heat Wave. I was thinking of yawning the Clodsire, but I can yawn the next turn. I don't think Clodsire should be that big of a threat, but we'll find out. Moonblast almost KOs the Grim. Heatwave will KO it. They set up T-Spike. Okay. Which is nice because I have Lando, so it's not like that big of a deal. Because I could always Terra Lando, but I guess it's a bit annoying. But this team doesn't switch anyway, so it's not like that big of a deal. We do get rid of the Grim. Okay. It is a Black Sludge Clodsire. Okay, so that means they probably can't Terra. And if they Terra, that's pretty decent for me. We're going to see Ogerpon come in. All right. I don't know if Ivy Cudgel even knocks out Torkoal. I think my best play is just to draw off a Heat Wave and Moonblast again. Even if they protect Ogerpon, like I got to play aggressive here and get damage, which is the important part. Because I need to be able to try to isolate the Clodsire by itself. I also would like to put in range of like Scarf Lando. We're going to see... Is that Terra? From the Ogerpon? Okay. Terra from the Ogerpon. Interesting. That means Clodsire can't Terra, which is pretty big. Okay. So we get Moonblast off. Huge damage. They go for Ivy Cudgel. Is this in a Flutter, I suppose? No, they target the Torkoal. Okay. This works out for me. I don't think Clodsire can threaten the Flutter Mane here. Sludge Wave. Okay. Sure. No poison, thankfully. All right. Sometimes you'll get some interesting GC games like this. We go out into our Lando, and we just click Earth Power and Moonblast. Yeah. If they have Bronzong, they should switch into Bronzong. But yeah, I just don't really see a problem with this. If their back is a Moongus, this is so passive from them. So it's not that big of a deal. Sludge Wave is an interesting move choice here. They retreat to Clodsire. Is this Bronzong or is this a Moongus on their side? Oh, Moltres. Okay. That's not going to appreciate the Moonblast later on, so that's fine. Yeah, I do KO the Ogerpon. Nice. And I think Terra-wise, I don't have a reason to Terra to Lando because that makes it vulnerable to a ground move. I think I just go for the Terra Fairy Moonblast into the Moltres and see if it KOs. Which I think is worth it. Even if I'm weak to an attack from Clodsire, it's not physical Clodsire. If it had Gunk Shot, maybe it could actually threaten damage into Flutter Mane, but Sludge Wave's still not doing that much. I think I just go for Earth Power and I go for Terra Fairy Moonblast. Unless this is like Weakness Policy, Galarian Moltres with the Berserk boost, maybe. But even then, Wake is still in a pretty good position to clean up as well after getting some decent damage off here with the Moonblast and Earth Power. So let's see what they decide to opt for, because they're not really in that great of a spot. Okay, no protects. Huge Moonblast. Yeah, it Okos. That's true Light Screen, by the way, which is kind of crazy because Galarian Moltres does actually have some good special defense, but Flutter Mane is just that insane. Here comes an Earth Power into the Clodsire to a KO. They go for Yawn. I'm kind of surprised they didn't try to Yawn my Flutter Mane earlier, but granted, this is still like pretty reasonable. I wonder if they have Protect. They should have Protect, right? I mean, my best play is just to go Walking Wake here and just go for a Moonblast because they can't Yawn my Wake slot. And Moonblast would still threaten the Clodsire, and if they decide, hey, I'm going to stall out the Yawn as well as the Sun turns, that's fine by me. Free switch to Wake. I just wonder if this is unaware or not. Yeah, I could have overpowered. Okay, that's fine. Still does decent damage. They're also stalling out their own Light Screen. Sludge Wave. Okay. Why did the first thing that Clodsire Sludge Wave animation remind me of is like the Pyukumuku arms, if you guys know what I mean. Okay, yeah, this is super over. I just Flamethrower Moonblast. I guess I could go Lando, but yeah. I don't even know if they have Protect at this point. We saw Yawn, we saw T-Spike, we saw Sludge Wave. I assume you have Protect, but maybe it's a ground move, but yeah. Like, it's pretty much over if they can't touch the... If it's Protect, they can't even touch Lando at that point, so game is over. Clodsire goes down, and yeah. Super defensive team, but... the nice thing about Sun is it's pretty big offensively, because if you aren't getting a knockout immediately, these Pokemon are frail. But the thing is, if their team is too defensive and can't get the knockouts, my Sun team gets multiple times to go for damage, and that's kind of what I did. I just overwhelmed them based on damage, so not really much to say there, but yeah, overall, pretty strong, I think. I just was able to really just dish out a huge amount of damage, I think, with my strong hitters. Granted, I think, I guess Life Orb Bundle Lando would have been nice there. Oh, we got the... Oh, boy, the Tailwind offense team. I don't know what exactly I do against this. But they usually run Sunny Day Torn, so I don't have to worry about, like, Rain Dance Torn, which actually helps my matchup a lot. It does help my matchup a lot. Raging Bolt should be good here, because they're always bringing Torn. Is it Torn Glim? It might be Torn Glim. If it's Torn Glim, I should lead Raging Bolt Walking Away, but if it's Flutterly, then it gets awkward. I think my Tailwind matchup isn't that great. Like, this really offensive version of Tailwind isn't that great, but let's see what we can do here. I think I'm going to just lead Raging Bolt Flutter. I think Raging Bolt Flutter is fine. Question is, am I bringing Wake or not? I think I bring Lilligant plus the Chi or Torkoal, because Chi-Yu on this team isn't usually Scarf. It's usually Focus Set, or not Focus Set, Choice Specs. So if it's Choice Specs, Lilligant's better. Yeah. It is kind of weird to play against Tailwind. Again, we don't have any focus sashes on the team. So we'll see how this goes. Because not having a single protect mon here is could be pretty dangerous. Okay, they lead Flutter main, so this is probably better for me. As I lead Raging Bolt and the Flutter. Usually these Flutters don't tend to run Shadow Ball, I'm pretty sure. It's Speed Booster as well, so I don't have to worry about a knockout here. I think I could just Thunderbolt and go for Shadow Ball. I guess the only play I would be worried about is if they actually have Shadow Ball and switch out into Chi-Yu. But granted, I think I'm still fine regardless. I'm just going to go for a Shadow Ball into the Flutter and Thunderbolt. As they protect Flutter, that makes sense. This is probably going to be the Tailwind setup, and then they're going to try to get their offense on the board. But losing a Pokemon right off the bat is pretty not, well, it's not the greatest for them. I'll just say that. I do get a Thunderbolt. Okay. So let's see. It should be out into the Chi-Yu. I have a few plays depending on how I want to play this next board. Because if it is, oh, it's Urshifu instead. Okay. I'm okay with Urshifu around. I think my best play is probably to... This could be double up in the Raging Bolt, which is fine. I could Terra my Flutter. Actually, Terra Flutter is pretty good here. Like, they don't really punish it well unless it's Choice Band and they read it. Yeah, I think my best play is just to Thunderbolt the Urshifu and go for a Shadow Ball with Terra Fairy, because I don't really need the Terra on Lilligant either. Are we going to see a Terra from my opponent's side? I assume this is Terra on the Flutter main. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. What's also interesting is I'm curious on if they're Jolly Urshifu or Adamant Urshifu, because when I get the Speed Booster, I'm actually going to be faster than their Urshifu. And in order to knock out my Raging Bolt here, they need to double it up, which means Flutter Mane would be saved. Like, I don't think Dazzling Gleam would KO either. Actually, maybe it would. Dazzling Gleam, Wicked Blow? That'd be close. Let's find out. They go for Wicked Blow into Flutter. That KOs? Is it banned? I guess they might have changed it to banned then. Okay. Because I'm pretty sure it doesn't normally KO. Okay. So I do get a Thunderbolt off, and then this puts it into range of the Thunderclap. Now the question is, do I want to go Torkoal or do I want to go Lilligant here? I think I go Torkoal first. Because the special attack booster is something that they have to be concerned about. Alright. I don't think they can knock out Torkoal though, like at all, which is a pretty big deal. This is also their... Well, they have 2 turns of Tailwind. I thought they only had 1. Wait. That actually might be an issue. I think I always Thunderclap. Actually, no. I think I'm about to lose to Chi-Yu if they have it in the back. Because they Sucker Punch here. And then they go for Dazzling Gleam. Yeah, I think so. Oh, they Sucker Punch the Torkoal. Okay, that's fine. Oh, they dazzled? Wait, they dazzled here. Get the Heat Waves. Specifically into the Ursh. Okay. We missed the KO on Flutter, but that's fine. Because I think did I win? This is close. I guess like what the last... Oh, it's Glamora back. Huh. Oh, we're about to... I think endgame's going to be 50-50 then. They got to be scared of Thunderclap from the Raging Bolt into Flutter. I think my best play is just to always Helping Hand Thunderclap the Glamora because I need the damage in the Glamora anyway. Maybe this KOs. I highly doubt it though, but I do need the damage in Glamora to put in range of Lilligant. Luckily, I have a bunch of Sun Turns still ready. So let's see. Did they protect? Yeah, perfect. Okay. And this is actually really ideal because they only get one turn as well. So this is really nice. So I do get a Thunderclap into the Glamora. And it does pick up the knockout, which is incredible. Okay, that's the power of Helping Hand Torkoal. It's really good there. But really, I just wanted the damage because then Focus Sash Lilligant might have been able to clean up this end game. Assuming like no double protects or like it might have been a protect mind game the next turn if they attacked with Flutter. But yeah, this ends up working out really well for me. Especially, like as I was saying, if the Glamora survived. I wasn't sure about it 100%, but yeah, now I'm just able to secure the game 100% because now I can go for Thunderclap Beyond, I suppose. I guess I could taunt, but like they are going to lose to the Lilligant in the back eventually. Nice. Really, really nice. I felt like I was surprised not to see Chiyu, but I guess it makes sense because the Lilligant's always super threatening. And yeah, the fact that I'm still surprised that Flutter just went down to the Wicked Blow from the Urshifu because it did Terra Fairy after all. Maybe it was banned. I mean, we never saw a Focus Sash confirmed, but still a little bit shocked about that calc, but very good thing. I mean, like the turn 1 was fantastic. The turn 2, I obviously wasted my Terra. If I didn't use my Terra, I could have saved it for Bolt and I could have like maybe KO'd the Urshifu. Could have had like taken less damage from Gleam, but I wasn't 100% sure of that. If I knew I went down to 1000 Gleam plus Wicked Blow, I wouldn't have went for that Terra. But I thought it was like, okay, maybe they Moonblast and they go for Wicked Blow with maybe Terra Dark, and I should be able to live with Urshifu or live with Flutter Mane from the Urshifu. But that's not what happened. All right, had to step away for a second. Gotta give myself some breaks. But we have Rillaboom, Alanders Incarnate, Entei, Flutter Mane, Ogerpon, Wellspring, and the Chien-Pao. Now, all right, so a pretty offensive team for the most part. Double Grass. Entei a little bit scary coverage-wise, but granted, this should be a pretty okay matchup, I think. I wanted the Chien-Pao's Ice Shard because that's going to be a big question. If the Chien-Pao's Ice Shard, this game changes quite dramatically. But let's see. Do I want to go with Torkoal Flutter? Actually isn't that bad of a lead here. Torkoal Flutter is not a terrible lead. I am debating it because of the big, powerful power gem I could draw off into the Entei and maybe surprise knockout it immediately, because Entei is one of the biggest threats here. I could also lead Lilligant as well, but I'm not exactly 100% certain if I want to do that. They could also lead, like, you shouldn't lead Rilla Chien-Pao, I suppose. Maybe if they plan to Terra Fire, but I do think Torkoal plus Flutter Mane, because I have the speed booster, threaten the Entei a bit is pretty nice. Back-wise, I like the Lilligant, and I think I like the Walking Wake because I like having multiple instances of Rillaboom, where I think the Terra Fire could come into play here. Lando's not bad, but against a bunch of priority mons, I'm not a huge fan of bringing the Lando. Granted, I am bluffing a like non-Scarf Lando, so the fact that I could maybe like have them not go for priority moves could be a big deal, but we're gonna see Flutter Mane plus the Ogerpon Wellspring. Okay. Drought's gonna activate. My Flutter Mane gets the booster first, so it looks like I will get my speed booster. Nice. Okay, are you special attack booster or speed booster? You're speed booster as well, but you're slower. Okay, nice. I kind of wish I let Lilligant here. Lilligant would have been better because Helping Hand Solar Blade would have probably been more offensive here, but I don't mind this lead regardless. I could either go for Helping Hand Terra Fairy, Dazzling Gleam immediately and try to blow up something. Granted, I don't think I pick up a knockout regardless. I could go for Helping Hand Moonblast as well. That's also another play that I have, which is tempting here. I kind of like the Helping Hand Moonblast idea. Actually, Helping Hand Shadow Ball is better. Helping Hand Shadow Ball is better. We are going to see a Terra. This is probably Flutter Mane then. Unless they do Terra Wellspring. They do Terra Wellspring actually. So this might be Protect plus Power Whip or Horn Leech. That would actually not be great. Okay. But they did commit their Terra, which means they're weak to Solar Blade stuff. And the Entei can't Terra as well, which is actually kind of nice. So let's see. Did the Flutter Mane protect? Because that's a big question. Nice. Okay, so I still get the KO into the Flutter Mane. That's not awful. So Flutter Mane goes down. I'm assuming it's Rilla back at this point. the way they're playing this screams Rilla back. They Horn Leech as well, so this is perfect. My Flutter Mane survives, and I got rid of their Flutter Mane. So taking that knockout's huge because they got to go POW and threaten the Sucker Punch here. Ivy Cudge was definitely not going to knock out Torkoal, which is great. So this is the easiest play for me. It's just to draw off a Heat Wave and draw off a Shadow Ball into the POW. I could swap out as well, but I kind of like the idea of just making sure I have pressure. I think I just Shadow Ball the POW slot to break a Sash. And I think that's always correct because if they double up the Torkoal with Ice Cold Crash, it's bad for me. So they do go for the Sucker Punch and the Flutter Mane. I could have switched out, but I don't mind losing Flutter Mane, assuming I get the Heat Wave off into POW to break that Focus Sash. Fiery Cudgel. Doesn't KO, yep. Even with Sword of Ruin. Heat Wave, we do land. Huge. Okay. Nice. A burn would be nice on the POW to get rid of it, but not necessary. Okay. We do get Lilligant in. And I think this is my best play, is just to go for a Yawn into the Ogre Pond slot and Solar Blade the POW slot. Yeah. Yep, because they might Spiky Shield. This might be Sucker Punch, but granted, that's fine. Nice. I get the POW, which is huge. Because, like, Ogre Pond could knock out the Torkoal, but it's not a big threat otherwise to the Pokemon I have in the back, especially Lilligant and Walking Wake. So I am able to get rid of the Chien POW, and now I can threaten the Solar Blade the next turn into the Ogre Pond Heartflame, which is huge. Nice. Rillaboom back could, I guess, be a bit scary. I mean, it has to be Entei, right? Like, I feel like it has to be Entei. It is Entei. Okay, yeah. Their best place to get a double Spiky Shield and a Sacred Fire Burn. That's what they need here. Do I have a way to really prevent that? Not really. So I think my best play, regardless, is just to go for a Yawn into Entei and just Solar Blade here, the Ogre Pond regardless. I could Sleep Out if I want, but I really, really think that it's better to try to get rid of Ogre Pond. And there's like a chance they might like go for Follow Me to avoid Entei getting Sleep Out, because maybe they think Entei can win the game, right? So I'm going to Solar Blade the Ogre Pond. But they do go for the... I thought they didn't get it. Shoot. Okay, just don't Sacred Fire Burn and we're fine. Oh! They targeted the Torkoal, so I guarantee win, actually. Huge. Okay, if they Sacred Fired my Lilligant, it was a completely different game. It was a completely different game. The reason is because Lilligant was the main mon that could deal with the Ogre Pond. Oh, I didn't know Solar Blade was Contact. I actually did not know that. We go Walking Awake, and now we have a game sealed here. We go for Hydro Steam into the Entei, and we go for Terra Ghost with our Lilligant, and we click Solar Blade. Main reason is if they have Extreme Speed crit into Lilligant, I don't really want that happening. So yeah, we're gonna go for Terra Ghost, Solar Blade, avoid the Extreme Speed, KO the Wellspring Ogre Pond, and then the speed order should be Walking Wake, outspeeding the Entei and going for Hydro Steam. So they did get half of what they needed, but they didn't get the other half. So they needed to get all of those factors, by the way. They needed a double Spiky Shield into Sacred Fire, land, and burn. So I felt like it was better odds for me still to target down the Ogre Pond, especially where there was a chance they went for Follow Me to avoid the Sleep Powder threat into the Entei. So we are able to KO the Ogre Pond as well. Because like even if they get like Spiky Shield and Sacred Fire and bring me down to Sash, I could still go for the Terra Ghost play, avoid the Extreme Speed, and the outcome is like not too much different. Because they would need like a triple protect from the Ogre Pond to avoid getting like Solar Blade the next turn. And yeah, Hydro Steam is able to finish off the Entei here and take the win. So very solid. We were just able to, again, put on the pressure immediately, which is really nice. Surprising. There was like expectation for me to see the Ogre Pond go for the Terra to get the special defense boost and just draw out the damage immediately, but it did work out because of course the Lilligant in the back was actually huge, because this Lilligant actually plays more of an offensive role on this team, and it's really crazy how much damage it really does with that Animate Solar Blade. Like it does a ton of damage to just a bunch of Pokemon, like again, especially with Helping Hand support like the opposing Flutter Manes, it's really good. But yeah, since they terra the Ogre Pond, they couldn't terra the Flutter Mane, and they couldn't terra the Entei either, which was pretty big. Tailwind offense, which is not great, especially since... Are you going to be rain, or are you going to be sunny day? This is probably a really bad matchup. This is not going to be a pretty one. Because I have no idea what the Torn moveset is, and if it's Rain Dance, I can't lead my Torkoal Lilligant mode. If it... Yeah, this is pretty bad, especially because the Lando on their side actually gives me a lot of problems too. I think I'm forced to lead Raging Bull plus Flutter Mane here. Because I need to threaten the Torn, and then I need Flutter Mane to threaten the Lando. I think I need to bring Torkoal so I can get the speed booster for sure. But that means, do I bring Walking Wake or do I bring the Lilligant back? It's tough because they have a Dragonite. Like, this is kind of a weird onslaught of Pokemon. You have like a Flutter Mane Chiyu mode with the Torn. That makes sense. But like Dragonite and Lando T are not like Pokemon you would normally see. So this makes it actually pretty awkward. I think Walking Wake is probably the better choice, since I actually have Protect as well. But yeah, this is not going to be an easy one at all. This is going to be a hard one. Because I want another Pokemon that puts on pressure into the Dragonite. Because I think the Dragonite could be scary. There's no POW, but even then, Dragonite's actually still scary. I wonder if it's a Scale Shot variant or if it's just a Choice Band set. Because both are actually pretty terrifying for my team. But we're going to see Torn Chiyu, which realistically, this is the best lead I could have asked for. Yeah, this is the best lead I could have asked for. There's no way you're Rain Dance, right? So Overheat would knock out the Flutter if they have like specs and they just go for Tailwind Overheat, which I am a little bit scared. But I guess like the Chiyu would become a lot less of a threat. So I think my best play is probably just to go for a Thunderbolt into the Torn slot regardless and just draw off a Power Gem. Or should I just draw off the Moonblast? I think I should just draw off a Moonblast. This could be Terra Fire, but we'll see. Like, Moonblast puts in range of Thunderclap regardless, so that should still be fine. Here's on what they decide. They could go Lando if they want, but Chiyu gonna switch out. What are they switching out? Chiyu. Nothing switches into the Moonblast. Oh, that... They expected a T-Bolt read, I guess. Lando's just such an interesting switch here, because I don't get the Lando switch. They go for Tailwind. Wait, that means I should just get a Moonblast T-Bolt KO, right? Okay, Lando takes it. Thunderbolt. Are you Sash? No Sash is really good for me. I think it comes down to... Although this is still nowhere near over... Is this Chiyu? Well, here's the thing. They can't Earthquake here in this position. That's like the one good thing about this position is they can't go for EQ. Flutter. Are you Speed Booster? It is Speed Booster, okay. How good is my Flutter Chiyu game plan? I live a Shadow Ball with the Flutter. I don't live a Double Up. They could Icy Wind here, which is fine. I think my main priority should be targeting getting rid of the Lando. Yeah, I think it's get rid of Lando and then go for endgame of Walking Away with Terra Fire is probably the big way to win. So I think we're just going to go for Draco Meteor Moonblast here. They might Icy Wind, which is the reason why... Oh, wow, they didn't Icy Wind. They just went for Moonblast. Okay. Special attack drop doesn't matter here. Rock Slide. Okay. Okay. So I get a Moonblast off into the Lando to take the knockout, and yeah, I'm just very shocked about how they played this. Went for the Draco Meteor to try and ensure the KO on the Lando, the Flutter. Okay. Alright, my endgame should always be the Terra, so... I don't think I need Torkoal that much. The question is, who do I want to Thunderclap? I wonder if Terra Electric Thunderclap in Sun could KO the Flutter. Because if it does, that would actually be kind of insane. I guess I could go for it. It's not like terrible for me to go for. Because if I do, I could win with Speed Boost or Flutter in the back. I kind of want to see. This. I'm going to go Torkoal, and I'm just going to go for Terra Electric Thunderclap. I want to see if I can KO the Flutter, because I'm actually very interested. I don't know. I feel like it's probably going to live on like 10%, but we'll see. It's Special Attack Booster plus Terra Electric with Beads of Ruin, which is a huge multiplier. So I'm very curious if this Thunderclap can KO, because I think the Flutter Mane's forced to attack. I think you need the Moonblast damage and the Raging Bolt before it can do anything to the Chi-Yu. So I'm just going to go for the attacks into the Flutter and see if I can get a knockout with the Thunderclap. Alright, Raging Bolt gets the Thunderclap off. Yeah, it lives. But even if it lives, that means it should be slower than my Speed Booster Flutter. Oh, they go for Snarl too. Oh, that's huge. Okay. Last turn of Tailwind on their side. Yeah, I think I should be good here. I'm just going to go for Thunderclap into the Flutter. And I'm just going to yawn the Chi-Yu. They go for Terra. Why are they Terraing? Wait, why? What does Terra accomplish here? The Chi-Yu. Fire? Dark? Crap. Wait, well, why? Oh, they're worried about Thunderclap and the Chi-Yu? I was just -1 special attack. Did they think? I don't know about that play. Is this taunt? T-Wave, okay. Okay, it's not Scarf. Doesn't KO my Raging Bolt. I still don't know why they left my Torkoal open, but sure. Tailwind Peter's out. I have plenty turns of Sun, so I don't have to worry about that. Let's just go for a Thunderclap into the Flutter again, because if they don't attack with the Flutter, then I don't really see a problem with going for the Thunderclap, and I'm going to throw off a Heat Wave. Yeah, I mean, you can keep going for this play here, but I think this is fine regardless. They go for Taunt into Torkoal, I guess to prevent a yawn, but like Chi was going to sleep, and then I just focused down my efforts on the Flutter. They go for Snarl again, that's fine. If I don't get parried here, I win the game guaranteed. But I guess the next turn, if I don't get this attack off, it might be just a gamble on the Flutters. Nice. Okay, I win. Huge. I don't think I played the endgame super optimally. I think like it's still alright though. Like I don't feel awful about how I played that endgame, but I feel like there was maybe a better line that I could have taken. But now I just guarantee win because I reveal my Walking Wake and I go for Flamethrower. I guess like I don't have to reveal Wake. I could have went for a Flutter and just went for a Moonblast, which should have just KO'd the Chi-Yu, but like I just speed things up and go for Flamethrower. Realistically, I should have always went Flutter here and went for Moonblast and Helping Hand, but it really doesn't matter at this point. Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't go for Helping Hand after the Tom. We just fired a Heat Wave. And yeah. I thought that matchup would have been a lot harder, but I think because they gave me the damage into the Lando immediately, like that was a huge factor. I guess like since their Chi-Yu wasn't like Specs or Life Orb, and I don't even know if it had Overheat at this point, because I feel like if you had Overheat, you would have went for it, right? Like we know it was like Scarf and Specs run Snarl usually, because the Sash variants and Life Orb variants run Overheat. So they couldn't KO my Flutter, and they're like, okay, I need to retreat here. They went Lando, but giving me that damage in the Lando was huge. Also, I could have just went Torkoal, I think, for the Raging Bolt slot and just went out for a Moonblast. And as long as it wasn't Jolly Lando, I could have just got like a huge Moonblast KO in the Lando before it got an attack off, and that would have been massive. But regardless, like, still, I guess was like pretty ideal. But yeah, interested to see what that combination lead of Torn plus Chi was for. I'm guessing it was for Torkoal Lilligant? Not sure, but we have Molly here. Interesting team. Galarian, Zapdos, Torkoal, Tinglu, Cresselia, Amoonguss, and Blood Moon Ursaluna. Looks like a very heavy Trick Room-ish team, and I don't have the best answers to Trick Room, unfortunately, here. Especially with Cresselia. Because I don't think I take the knockdown to Cresselia. Kind of spooky. Kind of spooky. do I want to lead here? Probably like Flutter Raging Bolt. It's either Flutter Raging Bolt or Flutter Wake. Flutter Wake seems better because I have the Flamethrower pressure immediately. I could lead Lilligant, but they're probably Goggles on the Cresselia, and if it's Goggles Cresselia, then there's no point of me leading the or bringing the Lilligant in the first place. I think it's probably just like Walking Wake, Flutter Mane. I don't think I need Lando, even though it's probably Terra Poison, Tinglu. I think Raging Bolt and Torkoal in the back are the best. The only problem with this team is very special attack heavy reliance, so yeah, I'm kind of curious on where their Terra is going to go because they all have individual threats of Terra. Like the Amoonguss is pretty annoying to deal with a defensive Terra for my Torkoal that I can't get rid of it. But the Tinglu as well would probably want the Terra, so kind of curious. And then Blood Moon Ursaluna wants Terra to sweep, right? So they have to be very cautious about what Terra to use. And like, I think if I force one of them early and know how to play around it, I think I'll be fine. Zapdos Ursaluna is definitely an interesting lead here. Versus Walking Wake Fluttermane, okay. Brightbird shouldn't KO Fluttermane, I don't think. I'm actually not 100% certain. Granted, I don't mind just going for Hydro Steam into Ursaluna and just drawing off a Dazzling Gleam. No Cresselia is very surprising, but I'll take it. I'm assuming it's Scarf, Galarian, Zapdos. They usually run Scarf. I guess it could be Sash if this is Sash Tailwind, but if it's Sash Tailwind, I'm still faster with both my Pokemon here. So they would have to protect with Blood Moon Ursaluna. And even if they are, I could still go for like Hard Switch to Torkoal. We see a Heart Swap. Is this the Tinglu? I mean, they're taking a bunch of damage on the Tinglu, and I'll gladly take damage on the Tinglu because that's a threat to my Raging Bolt. Like, the ground types are the threat to Raging Bolt. They actually go for Terra here, so this is still not even a bad turn because also, because of the Tinglu, they're reducing the damage output of their own Blood Moon Ursaluna. I guess Blood Moon would probably still knock out one of my Pokemon, but they're about to take a lot of damage. I don't know if this is great for them either. Big Gleam. Like, look at how much damage that did to the Tinglu. It was a crit. Okay. I was about to say, that did a lot more than I thought. Hydro Steam. Good damage. Are you Life Orb? Hyper Voice. That's not going to KO either of my Pokemon, and now I think you lose. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they lose here. They use their Terra. The Zapdos can Terra. I don't know what their game plan was. We go for Flamethrower and Dazzling Gleam here, I suppose. They're probably going to protect Ursaluna, sack the Tinglu. Okay, they don't even do that. So I get rid of both, and then it's Zapdos plus whatever the last mon is. I think I just switch into Torkoal to get the speed booster with Flutter and KO the Galarian Zapdos. Yep. I don't know. I'm super shocked that Cresselia wasn't the game plan here. Like, I thought Cresselia Tinglu would have been pretty annoying for my team to handle. So, very shocked about how this ended up going, but it works out. Amoonguss. And Galarian Zapdos. I guess if the Galarian Zapdos has Protect, but if it has Protect, it's not Sash, so Walking Wake outspeeds. Also, I don't know how to really dealing with all the offensive pressure that I have in my team. Do I Terra Fairy here? What are the Terras I could go for? Like, realistically, none of the Terras matter, right? The Bolt doesn't Terra here. The Torkoal could Terra, but realistically, just to ensure the knockout into the Galarian Zapdos, I think I just go for a Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam here. Actually, maybe it was better to not Terra here, because Specs Gleam probably knocks out the Zapdos. Well, Galarian Zapdos is deceptively bulky. It looks like it should be a frail mon, but it's not that frail of a mon. So if it protects, I guess Amoonguss could Spore the Torkoal the next turn, because I am Min Speed Torkoal. Maybe this wasn't right, but I feel like it should be Scarf Galarian Zapdos. That's like the main thing in this format. Yeah, no Protect, so I should get the KO on Zapdos, and that should be the game. Yeah, Galarian Zapdos goes down. And Amoonguss pretty much by itself against really, really heavy hitters with no Terastization as well. Yeah, it's just over. They go for Spore into Flutter. And that's fine. I'm just going to switch out to Flutter, throw off an Eruption, go out and Wake again, and then Flamethrower, as the battle is going to be forfeit because they do realize. So yeah, not really too much to say. They just got overwhelmed. Like that's kind of thing when you're running slow mons with no speed control, like no trick room especially, you're just gonna get overwhelmed like that. Because if you don't get the knockouts, like the thing is the Tinglu reduced their damage from the special attack as well. So even though the Ursaluna survived because of it, it wasn't able to put on enough pressure. All right, 1713 is a very high rating. Okay. Fluttermane, Rillaboom, Urshifu, Landorus, Incarnate, Ogerpon, Heartflame, Raging Bolt, Classic Japan Balance. Here's on how Lando's going to impact this game. Because Lando is a bit of a scary mon. I do like Torkoal Lilligant a lot since they don't have an Incineroar. Question is, what do I want in the back? Because I'm always scared of that grassy glide threat from the Ogerpon Heartflame. I think it's Walking Wake always, and then the last Pokemon I'm just deciding on. Is it Lando, is it Raging Bolt, or is it Flutter? They're all decent here. Like, all of them can provide good rolls. I'm thinking Raging Bolt might be good here. Like, they're all really good here. They're all really good here. I think Lando, though, because they might not go for, like, the Grassy Glide priority, especially because a lot of the Ogerpon Heartflame on these kinds of builds, I think, are pretty fast. So if they're fast, and that means they probably are, like, enticed to go for Ivy Cudgel. And if they go for Ivy Cudgel, my Lando will outspeed and surprise them, which I think is worth it. Raging Bolt plus the Ogerpon Heartflame versus Lilligant Torkoal. Okay. That's fine. They get a special attack boost. Does this follow me, or are they just going to attack here? I don't think we're going to see any protects realistically, unless I guess Raging Bolt has protect. I wish I had Lilligant in the bag, but granted, this is still fine. I think my best place is to go for Helping Hand Close Combat. Hopefully this knocks out Ogerpon. I'm not 100% certain on this, because Lilligant isn't the strongest Pokemon out there, but let's see. I'm feeling that this is probably going to be a offensive Ogerpon. That's my guess, but we'll see. I don't think they Spiky Shield. I really think you should just go for either 2 attacks, or they go for Follow Me plus like an attack from the Raging Bolt, but let's see. They got me. They got me. Really well played. Okay. If I went for Sleep Powder, this would have been huge. But I guess their like mindset is like, okay, I threatened to Follow Me. So I think their logic was if they think I'm always gonna expect to Follow Me, then they know I'm gonna attack, right? So maybe I should have thought about that like mind game difference a bit here. Granted, I don't think this is awful, but I'm gonna have to kick it into high gear with Lando. I'm gonna Helping Hand Earth Power the Ogerpon. They're gonna tear the Raging Bolt, I assume. I could have Helping Hand Sludge Bomb too. Oh. Okay, that works. Dude, if I just went for Sandsear, like, I'm shocked that they made the display. Because I think fought in the sun, they would have killed me regardless. So I was shocked that they made this play in the first place. Because I thought like they were going to switch to Rilla for the Raging Bolt and just Ivy Cudgel. Okay. So they know I'm Scarf. I get the KO on Ogerpon. They only make that play if I'm Scarf, by the way. There's like no way you make that play if you don't know I'm Scarf. Okay, so I'm in the game again because they decide to go for that. All right. They go for Dragon Pulse into Cold. All right. This is Flutter. I don't know. I still don't love this position. Because I'm assuming the last mons are Flutterilla? You definitely shouldn't bring Ursh, in my opinion. If I just click Sandsear and I hit, but then again, there's like a lot of things I need to go right. Like I did not... Because I don't think Sansear would have KO'd the Ogerpon with Helping Hand support if I didn't Terra. Yeah, they bring out Flutter. Okay. I guess if last month's Rilla, I win. But yeah, we're going to go for Helping Hand Earth Power into Bolt. If it's Lando, I'm scared, but like, there's not much I can do if it's Lando. Okay, they stay in, which is huge. Icy is fine. Moonblast Special Attack Drop is awful. Oh, I didn't think they had Protect. I guess it's probably... Wait, did we see if it was Booster? I have a way to win this, but it's like super unlikely, I think. Because we know it wasn't Life or... I'm pretty sure we saw Booster and Flutter, right? Alright, I gotta hope that they mess up. I think their best play is to either Moonblast Thunderclap my Lando, but here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna Yawn the Flutter, because I need the Flutter to go to sleep, and we're gonna go for Terra Poison to resist Moonblast, as well as like avoid Icy when KOing. And Earth Power's got to KO the Bolt, which probably does since it's not a Solvus Bolt, so that's like the one benefit here. And then we gotta get really lucky against the Flutter with the sleep turns. I think if they Thunderclap Icy Wind or Thunderclap Moonblast my Lando, the game's over. But let's see. Like, I need them to mess up that heavily in order to have a chance. But even then, I don't even think I win, because I don't think I beat the Rilla. Yeah, good play on their part. Like, that was their best play. Yeah. Again, a lot of it can be very read heavy here, and they definitely got me on the Ogerpon, especially turn 1. Like, turn 2, I could have brought it back if I clicked Sansear, but I did not think they were going to Terra Fire IV Cudgel. Like, I thought that was insane to me. I don't think I want to reveal if I'm life up if I ever play them again, so we're gonna forfeit here. Again, I think... Yeah, like, you could see how different it could go. Maybe I could have went for, like, Sleep Powder, just Heat Wave, threaten to damage immediately. Maybe I could have just went for, like, Close Combat and Raging Bolt for damage if I think it's a Soul Vest, but I really want to get rid of Ogerpon Heartflame, because if I got rid of Ogerpon Heartflame, it allowed some... Well, one, I don't have to worry about Stomping Tantrum Ogerpon, but yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of I think it's just very complex on like, okay, what does the Ogerpon do that turn? Follow me, spike his shield, or just attack? Because it really depends on the Ogerpon set. But that's how it goes sometimes. Ursaluna, Torn, Incineroar, Fluttermane, Farigiraf, Urshifu. Okay. It's probably Rain Dance on this Torn, which is not great. The Flutter plus the Farigiraf combo is also really scary. Yeah, this is, again, not a super easy one. If it's Sash Urshifu especially. If it's Sash Urshifu, we're in a lot of trouble. But granted... Yeah, a lot of it also depends on the Urshifu set. Like, if it's Scarf 2 is also a big question. So maybe Flutter is never worth it. I thought about, like, leading Flutter because my Flutter will outspeed Urshifu under Tailwind if it's not Scarf or Jolly. But I don't think that's worth it. It might be just, like, Raging Bolt plus Lilligant lead, have Torkoal in the back, and Walking Wake, which actually sounds pretty good to me. The only questionable part is their Fluttermane. Walking Wake is pretty good against their team for the most part, but we'll see. Like, having threats to Ursaluna is pretty massive. They lead Tornadus Fluttermane, so this is not like too shocking of a lead here. Versus Lilligant and the Raging Bolt. This should be offensive Flutter. So I could Sleep Powder, or I could go for... This is probably Dazzling Gleam and Tailwind. Like, that's always their play here. I think the play is just to always go for a Thunderbolt with Terra Electric plus Sleep Powder. I need to get rid of Torn. Yeah, I'm gonna risk the Sleep Powder. And Terra Electric T-Bolt. As long as this wasn't Trick Room Flutter plus the bear, that could have been scary. We're gonna see Terra from the Torn actually. Okay, that's fine. They go for Terra Steel. So that means they committed their Terra to Torn, which is actually kind of nice because if Flutter stays asleep, I get a lot of momentum this way. I guess if the Torn is faster though than my Lilligant, this could be like Dazzling Gleam Bleak Wind, and that would be awful actually. So maybe this isn't the ideal play. Maybe I should have just went into Torkoal and just went for Solar Blade. I was just worried. Oh. Interesting Protect. It's not Specs, which is surprising to me. They went for Bleak Wind, but they miss. That's not a mon that I care about missing realistically. Okay. It is max speed on the Torn. As I go for Sleep Powder into the Flutter, and we go for a Thunderbolt. Ooh, wait, that's a big crit. And I'm not even sure if I'm happy about that crit. Because I don't know what's being brought out next. Oh boy. Is this Sash Flutter? I'm trying to figure out. Okay. I like had an idea of what to do the next turn, assuming that the Torn survived. But I guess I don't need any more Farigiraf revealed. This is nowhere near over. I think I always just Thunderbolt the Farig, and I sack Wake? Last one should be Ursaluna at this point. I think I just attempt to Sleep Powder. They go for Gleam. Because the worrisome part that I had was them. I go to Torkoal and Solar Blade the Flutter Mane, but the problem is if I KO Flutter Mane and they Trick Room and bring out Ursaluna, I think I'm actually in a lot of trouble. So I think I should try to get rid of Giraffe before. Let's see. Huge Thunderbolt. Good damage. Para? Actually, that Para's annoying. I think Torkoal's still faster. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if it's Trick Room or not. Because that could have been a good Para or that could have been an awful Para. I have no idea which one it is. But I'm going to go out into Torkoal now, I suppose. Because, like, if they got Trick Room up, it wasn't bad for me. Because then I got Torkoal in. I click Eruption T-Bolt. They have no switch to the Eruption plus T-Bolt. So that's why I was fine if they got Trick Room up. But they went for Hyper Voice. Like, the damage is, like, alright. But it's not, like, crazy. It doesn't change too much. But now it gets a little bit awkward. We're going to go for T-Bolt into the Farigiraf. And I think we go for Yawn into the Flutter. Because if it's Ursaluna back, I need to get the Yawn off into the Flutter. If they go for Protect, that's fine. They go for Moonblast. That doesn't do too... Oh. That one is a bit ugly. That one's a bit ugly. I might lose off that one. And if they got Trick Room up, I think it was way more ideal for me, unironically. But I have no idea what they clicked. Well, I think we just go for Draco Meaty. Actually, I go for Thunderbolt and Eruption. Yeah. They go for Dazzle, which is fine. Jeez, that's doing so much. Is it Fairy Feather? I know it has a booster from the sun, but even then. I think I should have went for Heat Wave. I went for Hyper Voice. It's gonna do a decent amount. Yeah. I can win, but I think I need a full Para from the Farigiraf at this point. Or should I go for a full Para, or should I go for the Flutter Mane staying asleep for multiple turns? Hydro Sim's strongest move. I should have went for Heat Wave. That was definitely a mistake. I think if I expect back to be Ursa, if I click Heat Wave, I probably, assuming I hit the Farigiraf, I think I win. I could still go for multiple full paras if the Farigiraf, okay. I think I just go for Helping Hand Hydro Steam here into the Flutter. Because I need to ensure to knock on the Flutter. The Giraffe is probably going to just Hyper Voice. I need 1 out of 2 full paras, I'm pretty sure. And I think Helping Hand's better because if Hydro Steam doesn't knock out the Flutter, then I think I'm in really big trouble. So I think I have to KO the Flutter. I think back is Ursa. And then I think I have an okay spot. If they get paired now, I think I win. But okay. I need them to get paired the next turn. As they go Ursa, and then I Hydro Steam the Ursa slot. And if they protect Ursa, then it's just... Oh, it's Urshifu back. Oh, it's Dark Ursh, okay. Then they probably didn't Trick Room, then they Hyper Voice that turn. This should just be... I mean, if they're Sash, they just go for Wicked Blow, right? If I get a Flamethrower burn and I survive the Wicked Blow Life Orb chip, maybe. But yeah. Trying to think about this one. This one was definitely a bit more tough. I mean, I knew it was going to be tough. Because the Torn as well as like the Tricker mode, I respected maybe the Ursaluna a bit too much there. Maybe I should have just kept putting on more pressure. Definitely not going for the Heat Wave though was massive. Because if I went for Heat Wave, like I don't remember. What was my reason for going for Eruption? I thought it was like, oh, maybe they go for Trick Room. Nah, I should always Heat Wave there. I don't know why I went for Eruption. Like I should never risk the Eruption. I'd always should click Heat Wave. Because Heat Wave probably knocked out the Farigiraf and then it actually gave me like way more momentum. That would have given me way more momentum. So that was definitely an error on my part. All right, Ogerpon Heartflame, Indeedee, Iron Crown, Regidrago, Torn, Urshifu. Another Rain Dance team. I think they run Rain Dance on this team. Oh man. And Size Spam with no Terrain Changer. Yeah, this is a bad matchup because it's Scarf Urshifu too. Oh my goodness. And I don't have Fairy Terra. No, I think I'm losing this one. I can't see how I get out of this one. I think I do Raging Bolt plus Flutter. Because if they lead like Torn Ursh and they click Rain Dance, Surging Strikes into Flutter, I could always switch into Wake, I suppose. And then Torkoal plus Wake in the back. Maybe I should have brought Lando, because a Sandsear Storm actually does threaten a lot of damage across the board, but yeah. I don't know what you're supposed to do against Size Spam Iron Crown with Rain Dance, because does not seem anywhere near easy. Torn's already a threat. Regidrago's a threat to this team too, because I only have Flutter really, and it's not Fairy Bolt. We're going to see Iron Crown Torn. That's an interesting lead, okay. Interesting. Special attack boost. There's so many plays they could make. Realistically, they could okay, so they could Terrasilize the Iron Crown, expanding Force Switch to Indeedee. They could Tailwind, Tachyon, Cutter. Yeah, there's a lot that they could do. I could maybe cheese them if I think it's Tachyon Cutter. If it's Tachyon Cutter, I could go Torkoal Shadow Ball, and I am debating about it. I'm gonna go for it. Because I don't think they're going to Terra in front of Raging Bolts, because usually they run Terra Water. Unless it's a Terra Ground set. Then if it's Terra Ground, yeah, we're in trouble. But you know what? I'm going to go Torkoal. I'm going to get the Speed Booster, and I'm just going to hope that they give me the Iron Crown. If they protect Iron Crown, I think I just lose the game straight off the bat, because I have no Expanding Force switch-ins. But again, it's kind of like all in on this team. So let's see if this comes out right. Please Tailwind, Tachyon, Cutter. Okay, promising. I should outspeed. Nice. That is such a huge knockout. That is such a huge knockout. That means Entity is probably in the back and it's useless at this point. So I wonder what the last is. Probably Urshifu, I'd imagine. We have Surging Strikes. In fact, Regidrago comes in. Interesting to see Regidrago come out, but I'm fine with that. I don't think I need the Sun because I have really good answers to Surging Strikes in the back. So I'm just going to Helping Hand and Shadow Ball. Also, Flutter is faster than Regidrago with the speed booster, even if they have Tailwind. So Helping Hand Shadow Ball is always ideal here. Even if they Rain Dance, like, what are they going to do? Dragon Energy? Yeah, like, that's fine. Okay. And then I just Shadow Ball. Good damage. I guess I just go Wake. If they have Entity in the back, they could do Torn Switch to Entity and Protect. But they can't Dragon Energy anymore, so it's not like that big of a deal. Because all I have to worry about is Draco. So I think my best play is just to Shadow Ball, Protect anyway. If last Mon is Urshifu, I'm still in like a pretty good spot. And they didn't make the Entity play, so I don't think they have that option. Also, like, I'm really not expecting Terra Steel, Terra Blast on this team. They go for Bleak Wind, Earth Power, even Double Crit won't knock out Flutter. And once I get rid of the Regidrago, I'm fine. Speed Drop, annoying, but shouldn't impact the game. They go for Draco into Wake. I should get a KO into the Regidrago here with Shadow Ball. Yep, perfect. Regidrago eliminated, and then last Mon, is it Ursh or is it Entity? Because if they didn't even bring Entity with, oh, they did have Entity. Okay. I think they should have made the Entity switch earlier, but game is over now. 100%. They don't have enough firepower to break through Raging Bolt plus Flutter, and I can go for a Hydro Steam into the... I guess I'm going to target the Entity because I want the most damage to Entity, because unironically probably the biggest offensive threat. The question is, who am I tearing? I guess Raging Bolt probably. Let's see if it's Psychic or Dazzling Gleam. Usually they run Dazzling Gleam on this team, but if this is Psychic, then I guess I don't Terra the Raging Bolt. They Terra the Entity, which... Barry? Yeah, this has to be Dazzling Gleam. Even Dazzling Gleam won't do too much damage to Raging Bolt, so that's fine. Bleak Wind Dazzling Gleam might KO my Wake, though. Let's see. But this should be like uninvested Dazzling Gleam. Yeah, it doesn't KO Wake. I didn't think it did. I don't know. The Toy Bleak Wind was doing less damage to Wake than I thought to. But yeah, like, I just guarantee win at this point because Walking Wake just wins here by clicking T-Bolt. And their Tailwind expired. Shouldn't matter. But yeah, we go for Terra Electric T-Bolt into the Entity. Because Entities don't run Protect, and even if they Bleak Wind Protect, it doesn't really change the game, I think, because Flutter comes in, and then Dazzling Gleam T-Bolt is a play that I just have that should lock it up. Bleak Wind, yep. I don't think Crit Psy Shock does anything, and that's like the best, I think, option that they have. Yeah, it's just Dazzling Gleam again. Okay. Okay, you know what? Here's the thing about this team. Yes, we have some very annoying matchups, especially with the Tailwind, but a crazy turn like turn 1 can really swing the momentum. And let me just say, that turn 1 really did swing the momentum. It could have went super poorly, but I had a feeling they would go for Tailwind Tachyon Cutter. And you know what? I had a counterplay. Fluttermane comes in, and again, there were a bunch of minings that could have happened. I went with the instinct I thought. They're the level 1 play, and it worked out. So let's go for Moonblast, go for T-Bolt. And yeah, game is over. I don't have to Thunderclap because it doesn't really change anything here. Because Thunderbolt and the Thunderclap just always wins anyway, and Bleak Wind Crit probably doesn't knock out Flutter. at the range, so I always get an attack off. So yeah, always able to seal the win there. Nice. uh, all right. Yeah, a lot about turn one. A lot about turn one. That's all I have to say. All right, let's get the last one here and see how well we can perform for this. I think should be a good one. We have Helmer with this team. Great. This is a team that, I mean, it's like an old team, but it resurfaced. This is the team that won the Portland Regional Championship, which was unironically the first regional championship of Regulation F, but they've been updating the sets with like Scale Shot, Dragonite, and a few others. I think we just lead Torkoal Lilligant against this team, because I played this on stream and it seemed pretty good into like a lot of the stuff that they could bring. And then back, what did I have? I think it was Flutter and was it Wake? Was it Wake or Orlando that I brought is what I can't remember. I think it's Slando I want. I think I want Lando. I'm not 100% certain because I can't remember, but I think it's Lando because the Scarf Lando can put in some surprises. The annoying part about this team is they have a lot of priority, which means Lilligant is threatened, but we'll see. Ogerpon D-Knight, that is one of their better leads. Okay. I wonder if there's Scale Shot though, because my best play is probably just to throw off a Heat Wave and go Flutter Mane on a potential Scale Shot. So I'm gonna Heat Wave, go into Flutter. Lilligant's just so good against like the remaining backs that I think this is always worth it. And if they go for Scale Shot, it fails into the Lilligant slot, so that's nice. I could threaten the Sleep Powder, but of course they could follow me, so I don't think ever worth it. I don't think they're gonna follow me in this position, but they could. They could also like protect Ivy Cudgel, but that's fine as well. Okay, the Ivy Cudgel attack probably with Scale Shot. As long as this doesn't double up into Torkoal, I should be fine. Aerial Ace, okay. I have Bulk. I'm surprised that KO'd. Oh man, that's a really bad knockout actually. Oh, that's such a bad knockout. I didn't think I would go down to Aerial Ace even if it was banded. Oh, that's bad. I don't know how I'm beating the D-Knight now. I'm gonna yawn to D9 Sludge Bomb, I suppose, but yeah, that's a really bad turn. That's a really bad turn. Okay, they stay in, which is really good for me, so I do get the Sludge Bomb with an Ogerpon. I don't know what their Ogerpon spread is, but if they're fast, they probably suspect that I am Scarf. Aerial Ace into Torkoal, as I do get a yawn off into the D-Knight. Okay. That might force the D-Knight out or for it to sleep, which gives Lilligant turns to go for attacks. Is this POW? I'm curious on who I should Terra. Flutter comes out. Okay, yeah, we're in a lot of trouble. Oh, it's special attack booster though. Interesting. I need to sack Torkoal, ideally. I'm gonna Helping Hand, and I think Terra, Poison, Sludge Bomb, the D-Knight. Yeah. Okay, they stay in, which isn't bad, because I actually need the damage in the D-Knight, and the sleep is actually pretty good for me. Well, I wonder if this even KOs, because this could KO maybe. It's Helping Hands and Terra Poison, but it's not Life Orb Sheer Force. It is modest max special attack, though. So here's a Sludge Bomb into D-Knight. It actually does KO. That's actually a really big KO. Okay. Dazzle. That's really good for me, actually. That's really, really good for me. Okay. Back in the game. It's Chien Pao back, which is not surprising. Okay. It's just a call of protects. I have to get the target right. So I can Solar Blade KO the Flutter Mane, especially with Sword of Ruin. Or I could go for the POW. I think my best place is Solar Blade the Flutter and Sludge Bomb the Chien Pao because I do have upper hand as a option that I do have with my Lilligant if I have to go for it. I also could Sleep Powder on a Sucker Punch, so it's not like awful if I get the play wrong. So yeah, I think I always Solar Blade the Flutter Mane regardless, and I always Sludge Bomb the POW. Now the only way this goes bad if it's Focus Sash Flutter Mane. But I think we might have actually been able to come crawling back. It's not anything confirmed, but this should be Terra Ghost on the POW. Yep. Makes sense. To avoid Sludge Bomb from threatening it, as well as like close combat. This is Protect from Flutter. Okay, the game got interesting. So I went for Solar Blade. Although they target Lando, they lose 100%. Here's how much this does to POW with Terra Ghost. 30? Wow, that did a lot more than I thought, actually. Wait, they Ice Spinner that slot. They don't KO. Yeah. No, that's a mistake. I think I guarantee win now, because I can just Solar Blade and Sludge Bomb. Maybe they're hoping to stall out the Sun turns, but I have 4 turns. They're going to Sucker Punch and Double Protect attempt. Oh, they went for a super hard read of me expecting to Double Protect on the Flutter. So they expect me to target down the POW, but that works out huge. Okay, I should get rid of the Flutter here. Or maybe it's because they want to stall out the Solar or the last Sun turn. But I have Damp, or not Damp Rock, Heat Rock on the Torkoal. So I actually get more turns of Sun. And I think they were like, okay, if I Sucker Punch the Lando, then POW should infinitely be able to beat the Lilligant once Sun is over, because Solar Blade's a 2-charge move. They could just protect on every turn otherwise. But no, that's the power of the Heat Rock Torkoal. The Heat Rock Torkoal actually comes in super clutch here. So I see what their endgame was going for. But, oh man, Heat Rock Torkoal coming in clutch. And Lando with the Poison Terra, as well as the Scarf. The Scarf was actually really important in this. And this is kind of why I liked Scarf for the Grand Challenge idea for this team, because I felt like the Scarf could actually like, because the team doesn't have like any, like it has speed, but it's not like, there's Torkoal and Raging Bolt, which you often bring. Those are slow. Walking Wake's not the fastest mon. There's still a bunch of base like 120, 110s, 120s, and I felt like 135s. And then like, I felt like Scarf Lando could really help clean up those endgames, because Focus Sash, like Chien Pao and stuff, can, I think, still be pretty annoying for the team. So Scarf Lando really coming in clutch there, alongside Heat Rock Torkoal, which has actually been pretty useful, because that extra turn of Sun has actually been very impactful, I think, in some of the matches that we played today. But overall, I felt like a pretty decent showcase of the team. What did we go in this bid? Did we go like, I think it was like 11-2 or 11-3 potentially. I think it was like something around there, but felt like the team was pretty solid. Like Lilligant was really good. Even like we didn't click Sleep Power too much. We really used it as an offensive mon, and because that Solar Blade is just so powerful. And then of course we saw how powerful like Protosynthesis mons can be, especially with the output of Helping Hand Torkoal. Like it was really able to do a ton of damage. So very satisfied with how the team played. And yeah, like it was a pretty fun showcasing. And of course, if you do enjoy like, you know, battles like this, make sure you of course subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and you can check me out live, because I did actually stream with this team. So make sure you follow the live streams, as well as I do a lot of VGC content both on Twitch, YouTube Live, and of course a bunch of YouTube videos. We have bonus channels as well for more VGC content. But yeah, team overall was super fun, super strong team that was created, and was really fun again to pilot.